Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm here, me, Adebayo. Well, it's not the result we wanted from the World Athletics Championships, but anyway, Tobi Amusan remains our champ any day, any time. And of course, the star girl, Tobi Express, finished 6th in the 100 meters hurdles women's event at the ongoing World Athletics Championships in Budapest. I will also talk about some of the things going on. Women's football will continue with our post-mortem on the FIFA Women's World Cup. We'll also talk about football transfers. We'll also look at what's happening in sports in Nigeria. We have a new sports minister. What is he up to lately? We'll talk about that all for you on Sports Tonight. Well, it's a two-man show. My colleague, Austin Okona-Hackman, of course, will be with me, and we will be taking this ride together. Greetings, Austin. It's good to take this ride again with you tonight, although Tobi's results leaves a bitter taste in the mouth somehow.
That's very greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Still an action-packed auto sports. Yes, she didn't win. She finished 6th. Maybe the people who really wanted to frustrate our champ before the World Championships might just get this 6th position and keep it, because Tobi Amusan is still the world record holder. They will run and run and run before they will break 12.12 seconds. I know that for sure, unless Tobi is ready to break a record again. So shout out to Tobi Amusan. I know mentally it's going to affect her, but she stayed focused, did her first heat, gave us a good result. Second, the semi-finals, the way she took off, I knew was going to be tough in the final. Now, with the way Kendra Harrison and Jermaine Camacho Queen have been running, even Divine shouting, did have a good race today. I spoke with her at the Commonwealth Games, and she said she was going to consolidate at this World Championship. She was so close, but no one saw Danielle Williams coming, and there she is, champ, doing it in 12.43 seconds. Tobi finished 12.6. That's not the sort of result we know with Tobi Amusan, but it's okay. It's all good. She's human. They worried her, and probably it affected her mentally. But I think she got off the block pretty late today, and before she knew what was happening, it was too late to catch up. She did the same thing in the semis, but somehow she was able to catch up and win that race. But today, it didn't just happen. These other ladies were pumped up. Tobi is the person to beat. I like this result, Yemi. I like this result. Now, she will stay focused, go back, do a lot of smart and hard work, and get ready for the Olympics.
All right. That's what a lot of people expect. When things like this happen, it has a way of motivating you, and I hope that happens. And for our viewers, Austin referenced what happened in the semi-finals. One of the ladies she beat in it too of the semi-finals somehow got ahead of her in the semis. But like I said, and Austin agrees, a whole lot of Nigerians agree, Tobi still our champ, remains the world record holder. It will take some time before somebody beats that. She finished 12.62, wasn't good enough today, but who knows, when next she has the opportunity, Tobi Express will definitely want to do better than that. Well, for the World Athletics Championships continues, but for us Nigerians, that was to be the high point of the event for us. It didn't go the way we expected, but you could sense that most people are not disappointed. I mean, Austin, I'm very sure you share that sentiment. This was where we thought we were going to get something. It didn't happen, but yet most people I've spoken to, I was in the newsroom, a lot of downcast people, faces, but yet, once the race was done and it turned out that she came 6th, everybody moved on. They were still happy she got to the final, and she put up a valiant effort.
I was still a young boy when my dad told me that even if you win easy, to sustain success will be tougher and harder. And every time you attempt it, it gets that way. Now, when we talk about Tobi Amusan, everyone expects her to win, But the good thing about Tobi is that she won, in a very difficult way. Before she came into the limelight, this is the girl that the media was always saying she almost did it. She almost got there. She was finishing fourth, fifth, until last year when she took the world by storm, gave us that world record at the World Championships in Oregon, consolidated with a new Commonwealth Games record, and then she went to about 3 different meets, smashed the records, and then everyone started talking about Tobi Amusan, and everybody was so used to seeing her win, you know. But before Tobi started winning, some of these ladies like Kendra and then Camacho Queen were the ones, you know, bossing the event. So those persons are still winners in their own right. But what we're just trying to say is Tobi didn't come into this World Championships with the right mentality. And for some reasons, because people expect her to always win, wanted her to push it away and then get on the tracks and then win. Some persons are disappointed, yes, because she's the champ and she has been winning for the country. But she's also human, and mental health is a thing, you know. We've heard a lot of tennis players talk about it. Naomi Osaka kept talking about it, Djokovic, even Serena Williams. That look, you expect so much from us, but do you know we have things we're dealing with? So now, aside our personal issues, the AIU didn't let her breathe, you know? So she came into this just to prove a point. And no matter what anyone wants to say, I'm super duper proud of Tobi Amusan that she could still come out, compete, and make the final. Jacobs, the Olympics champion, didn't make it to the men's 100 meters final. Hurley, the defending champion at the World Championships, didn't make it, didn't qualify. Not that they compete and finish 6th. They didn't qualify for the finals. So positives, you know, some way. Let's see how Tobi will pick herself back up. But for everyone who is disappointed, I understand. But in what way can you support Tobi Amusan to pick herself back up? That's what we should be doing, I mean.
All right. Well, let's see if Bolo Money has a different opinion. Bolo, greetings to you. Greetings to you. Thanks for joining us this lovely Thursday evening. I thought we were going to be in the studio together. It turns out that we're going to be waving across each other, but it's all good.
Well, good evening, don't worry, I'll be seeing you again very soon. The truth is, the only person that would disagree with Austin is someone that is not true to themselves. Not many people have the mental capacity to even compete at all after everything she went through. You could hear it from her press conference yesterday at the Irish Reporter, the way she laughed at you. Look, why are you guys focused on this thing? Focus on the event. I've read many people talk about she can smash the record again. Me, I felt making the podium either bronze medal would have been a great success for her. Unfortunately, she could not. And she wasn't even the person that won. Williams had the 8th best time amongst all of them for this season. So it's not that it was a great race that she was way behind. No, all of them were just close to themselves. Williams was supposed to be the poorest amongst all of them, but she ended up winning. So it's sport, it's competition. There's always winning some and losing some. Like Austin Riley said, it just means now that there's no distraction or ban or suspension or anything, just focus and let's see what she can do with the Olympics. Olympics is the only girl. If it's one person that will win every time, then she wouldn't have won it last year. She did what many thought she wouldn't do. The likes of Kendra were the preferred options. The likes of Camacho Queen were the best options for this race, but they did not win. So it is sports. She's lost this one. Let's see if she will get the better one, which is the Olympics. Prepare well, but she needs our support as well. I'm talking about the ministry, talking about the federation, everyone bringing hands together to make it work. We need all the support. Hopefully herself, the likes of every other person going for the Olympic Games, including Mr. Brumes and who have, if they have better preparation, I'm sure they will do well at the Olympics in Paris next year.
Let me throw this in quickly before Austin takes the floor. Do you think some of the things written about her, some of the things said about her, do you think those journalists went overboard? I mean, you begin to hear stories of somebody investigating the footwear she was using, whether or not he had an advantage, going to the makers. I mean, all kinds of... I mean, do you think they went overboard, or you have to be able to deal with those things if you're a champ?
It's a two-way thing. First of all, I'm sure Michael Johnson will likely never say anything that has to do with Nigeria again, because he expected his compatriots to win. Tobi Amusan won, then he kept on talking about the boost, the backlash he got. I'm sure he would have learned from it. The truth is, it's hard not to pick up the racial part. There was a story earlier this morning that England, all the athletes they took to the World Athletics Championship last year, about 21% of them were not tested at all. The ones that were tested were just tested maybe once, 2, 3 times. So you can't take away the race part. Now let's see, they will ask Williams about her boots. I've not read anything about the boot she wore, but when Tobi Amusan won last year, immediately we start seeing Willie Aiden, we start seeing the kind of sneakers she wears. So it's more of they will come at you. But speaking on the other side, it's a no. It will happen. The fact that you're even in Nigeria, being black is one thing, being African is second, then being a Nigerian, you're already 3-0 down. So Tobi Amusan just need to buckle up. These questions will keep coming. It is how you respond, and I'm sure, like I also said, mental health. Maybe she is not mentally ready for this event. She says it all the time. She's prepared. I've had interviews with Tobi, and the way she replies messages are always apt. So probably because of how she came into this event is why she responded like that. But I think people should cut her some slack. Humans will respond A this way, the other day she could be B. But we all know who Tobi is. For those that have had conversations we have, for those that have had interviews we have, you know how she responds. So if she doesn't give you the reply you want today, just buckle up, she'll give you the reply you want next time.
All right. Like the lyrics of that popular song, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. Well, now what has happened. How do we rate Nigeria so far? I guess Austin will help us with that, because we were thinking this was going to be the high point. It didn't happen. What expectations should Nigeria have from the team representing the country?
So yeah, it's still the same old story that we talk about until I think Ese Brume broke that long way. There was a time we went 10 years or more without winning a medal at the World Championships, and then Tobi Amusan came down, and everyone's talking about us. But what have we really done? Apart, getting ready for competitions. Let's talk about what we have on ground back home, that we know that this is where we go for athletics to shine in Nigeria. No, we don't. This is a lot of work. I was with Divine and our coach at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, and they were telling me about the 10-year plan they have for her. I think they finished second or third in Birmingham. Now, she was so close to getting on the podium. It is the time that Tobi Amusan ran in her semis, in her bad semis, 12.43. That's what Daniel used to win tonight. It tells you that Tobi Amusan, as bad as she can be, she just had a very terrible night today. That's one point we should keep. And these things happen in our world of sports. But this is a time for us to build, look again, reflect. I keep talking about it. Now there's a new sports minister. You're talking about what the media is saying, the extra eye on Tobi. It's because we don't have international representation. What's our reputation with athletics administration internationally, that when they want to come for that Nigeria, so I say, wait a minute. In fact, before they go, they will come and consult with you because they know you are respected. This is the international sports. Now, I don't want to call it politics. Let me say diplomacy that we always talk about. We are always missing internationally. And you know why? Because we have the wrong people doing sports in Nigeria. That is why when they come to these congresses abroad, or when they go to the international federations, they are interested in the part that they will talk about the grants that they will give to federations so that they will go and share money. We need people who can contribute to international athletic development, that when they want to talk about Nigeria, Austin Okonakman is there. Before you go for athletes, you would have brought proof to me that you've gone for athletes in the United States of America, in the United Kingdom, you've gone for people in Asia. Before I will now say, okay, fine, this is balanced. New sports minister. That was the charge I was giving him the other day. All of the old men, the people bereft of ideas running sports in Nigeria, they don't have any business being there. Let's take them out and get people who aren't scared of giving Nigeria good international reputation. Because, you hear me, that's where the real competition is. You see, I keep talking about what we need to do before we compete. You see the politics that happens inside the room. Now, look at the persecution Tobi was going through. If the AIU know that they have someone that is from Nigeria that can tackle them, ask questions, all that bad news that came out before the tribunal cleared Tobi wouldn't have come out. That's politics. And that's where I want Nigeria to get into. When we start winning there, then you see that everything will go smoothly for our athletes.
All right, you referenced the sports minister, Austin. Let's go there. I want to yield to you since you referenced the sports minister. And yesterday was a facility tour, went around, said some things. But what's been grabbing the headlines really is what the sports minister said about him wanting his office to be located at the Abiola Stadium, the National Stadium, and those federations who probably don't have offices should relocate to the National Stadium. I thought the sports minister received applause when he made those comments. And I mean, let me just yield the floor to you. How does this sit with you? Most people will, some skeptics will say, oh, that's how they all say. But I like the signals.
I like it too, Yemi, but when I saw the inspection, I said, here we go again. For instance, look at what he's inspecting. I want to see action. Just look at this. This is the Abuja National Stadium. I've done reports before I left Nigeria. I think I did about 7 reports on the Abuja National Stadium and how billions of naira was dumped into this, and now look at how it is. So sport minister going there, seeing for himself. I like when he said he's going to have his office there so it can be seen everything that is happening. Let's listen to him. He's saying that he's going to lift the standard of sports. I pray that he does lift the standard of sports in Nigeria. Let's listen to the new sports minister, John Eno.
The new Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Eno, is not in the office today, as he is taking a long walk through the Moshood Abiola Stadium to inspect facilities for himself. He began with the field inspection, then moved to the meeting rooms and the changing rooms for the athletes. All he wants is to see the current state of the facilities. When he and the permanent secretary got to the 200-room hotel facility, he couldn't hold in his displeasure anymore.
From 2003 to today, I mean, the facility has gone through a lot and has suffered a lot. So when you get to the powerhouse and you find that, I mean, out of about 8 of the generating sets you have, I mean, nearly all of them functional. I mean, the permanent secretary, I mean, has also been quite helpful. So it's some little bit of cherry news that you just don't want to ignore. But, immediately after that, and I had to go to the athletes, hostel. I mean, part of the briefings that I've had was the fact that the initial conception of this place, this facility, was that the games village was supposed to be part of this facility. But immediately after those games and all that, the federal government then, sold out those buildings. And the proceeds of that sale was supposed to be used to build an athletes hostel, which is what we just went and checked. And I mean, it's a bit, unacceptable that after several years, we can still find that facility in the kind of sorry state that we found it.
The minister calls all hands to come on deck to change and take sports in Nigeria to the next level.
It's because of the vision he has for this ministry. And he looked around and he saw me. And he believes that I have the passion and the commitment and the serious-mindedness enough to make a contribution and to grow the sports, ministry in Nigeria. So I think that we are already moving on.
The minister says it will not be business as usual, as he is ready to do all that he can to bring in innovation, the appropriate funds, and development necessary to change the current state of sports for the better.
All right, just like Austin said, since 2008 that I've been involved in sports reporting, every sports minister goes to the National Stadium, looks at it, shakes his head, and promises to do something. And there's a committee set up somewhere. At the end of the day, nothing gets done. But we're hoping that will not be the case with the new sports minister, John Eno. Hopefully, all of those things he's saying, he will put them to practice and ensure that everything works in Nigeria. Because what is happening to our sportsmen is a reflection of a bigger picture we need to take sports seriously. It's not about spending money, it's how you spend the money. What do you do with the money that you spend? All of those little details. And like they say, I mean, excellence, it's just about paying attention to details. That's what it's all about. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll continue talking about, of course, the things the sports minister is doing. And, of course, we'll continue with our post-mortem of the FIFA Women's World Cup. Join us. Welcome back. Bolomoni is still with us. And, of course, we're into the heart of it, talking about sports development in Nigeria. Bolu, you listened to that report, you watched it, and of course, if I want to count, you've probably seen something like that 5-6 times before, especially when a new sports minister is at the helm. But your thoughts, what do you make of what you've seen and what you've heard so far?
Well, all through the break, I was trying not to laugh. The first thing that got me cracking was when I saw tracksuits here and there, seeing Nigerian dresses. You could have done all this thing with that track and everything. I understand it's sport and all. But the truth is, like you rightly said, we see this all the time. Let me use Austin's preferred phrase. I want people that will walk the talk and not just talk the talk. The truth, everyone will call me Spectrum. I know when he said he'll move his office there, I don't think that is visible based on the location. I don't care where the office is. We just need this place to be active. Because I remember under the last sport minister, everything will be active already, safety with the National Stadium in Surulere, except that one we fixed today. So it's not just about telling us these things. If the National Stadium in Surulere is what it's meant to be, we'll be having problems about athletes looking for where to train. It was on this same show where Aaron Okoli spoke about where he doesn't get support with training. It was this show Agumbiade, the para table tennis player, said he still used the same old facilities 20 years ago. So it's not just about talking. The excuse before used to be because it's youth and sport ministry together. So maybe they don't know about. Now that it is sport separate, there's no excuse this time. We want our sports to grow. Enough of all those talks of Jambody, let's do fire brigade approach. No, we want to be well prepared. We want good facilities. We don't want 2,000 facilities in 2023. No. But again, he's a new sport minister. He's starting afresh. Let's hope he's not just talking. Let's hope he wants to do what he says. And I'm sure many of us want that. If he does what he's saying, hopefully Nigeria sport will get to grow. All we need is talent is never a problem. If we get the administrative part right, I'm sure every other thing will fall in place. Hopefully he works everything he's saying. He's not just talking and he gets active with them.
All right. I wanted to say something, but I thought against this. I'll hold it to myself. I'll probably say it to the guys off camera. All right. I'll yield to Austin. We're about to go to the FIFA Women's World Cup, a post-mortem, but I'm very sure he has a thing or thing to say about what he just listened to.
No, yeah, I mean, I've always said these things over and over again that we think it's when we have the beautiful playing surfaces, nice pitches, and we're doing well with infrastructure. Just look at the environment of the National Stadium. They should be careful. A lion or tiger can just come out and attack somebody there. Just look at the environment. It's disappointing. This is what I always tell our leaders. If you want to come into sports, just look at this. Just take a look at this. Just look at the building. If you go to the package B, you will weep. This is the same stadium that I remember when they launched it, we were like, wow, we have a stadium now that we can look forward to. It's been left to rot. So, Honorable Minister, I wish you all the best. I hope that you match words with action. I've said that, look, we should stop talking. If we are not doing anything, let's just keep quiet and we understand. But when we are talking and then we're not doing anything, then it's really, really, disappointing. All the best to the new Minister of Youth for Youth and Sports, for sports, no more youth with it. So, John Enna, all the best. We will continue to monitor everything that will be happening with the ministry. It's all about development for us. Let's talk about what everyone talked about. The 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. It got us talking. The Super Falcons got the world talking. Australia and New Zealand gave us a fantastic show. FIFA made money. I like it that the general rankings have been done and Nigeria is ranked number 10 out of the 32 teams that featured at the World Cup. Finishing in the top 10 is a good one for Nigeria. We would have done better. We would have beaten England. woulda, coulda, shoulda. What didn't we do right at the World Cup? A former footballer will be joining us now. He's in Melbourne, Australia. Let's welcome Toyin Abbas. He's been looking at the Super Falcons and looking at ways that they could have been better. And now that we've got a new Minister of Sports, probably he will be watching and then take some of the things that he will prefer. Good, I don't know what it is in Australia, but in London, it's good evening, Toyin Abbas. Welcome to Sports Tonight.
I'll say good morning here and good evening in Nigeria. My apologies. I know my alarm failed me. And I set my alarm, but look, we'll talk about that another day. I'm so thrilled to be here, and it's an honor to be here to talk about sports. I would say sports development in Nigeria.
We love it. Yeah, we love it. That's what we want to talk about. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on the show. Let's quickly get into it. The Super Falcons and what they did at the World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. What are the lessons? You were right there with the team. You saw things that we didn't see. What are the lessons, the positives that we can keep?
Well, the positives, look, I think the girls, we all agreed. The girls, they did us proud. They put in everything they could. Look, Oshola, irrespective of injuries, she gave everything. The other girls, they gave everything. The coaches, the team, they put in everything, and they kudos to them. I doff my hat for them. Look, at the same time, we have to give an appraisal, and in giving an appraisal, we have to call the spade and not the snake. I told my colleagues, I told my friends, I told my families, I told my colleagues at work, I said, I wasn't impressed. Maybe I was looking at a 9/10 score or result. Unfortunately, the girls didn't give us that. And the reasons, I will start straight away, and I will let you know how I felt. Preparation was bad. That was bad, and it's a lesson if the Minister of Sports is hearing this and the other sports enthusiasts. The preparation, the day Australia finished the last World Cup, when they came back to Australia, I remember the assistant coach, a friend of mine, said, we're going back to the drawing board, we're going to start all over again. And you could see from the Aussie girls, they don't even have any start apart from the main Aussie star. What's her name?
Sam Kerr.
The other girls are just ordinary girls that you could pick from a Saliko or from a Jegunle or from anywhere. They're playing for clubs. Oh yeah, but the development you could see the trappings of a nation that had plans. So that's number one. When I say preparations, you all know what I meant. We always have this fire brigade approach. Number two, we don't have a football culture. Nigeria should try and evolve a football culture. We don't want to bring Osimhen from Spain, this person from Ireland. You can never get a good result. Brazil always have a football culture. So that is something, it's an epitome of, I think I always talk about this. I've spoken about this with a lot of friends that are part of Lagos Legend, which I'm part of. I've spoken and learned to top coaches in the UK. A friend of mine, Chuks Akuneto, is a coach's coach, we call him. Is a top football director in the UK. And I said, the day Nigeria have a culture of football, a football culture, that is when we're going to be world beaters. So the third part of it is when the girls arrived in Australia. I felt disappointed. A series of interviews were done. The girls had no business camping in Queensland. I came to Australia, I think in September or about the same time. I nearly died on the pitch. All the places that I've played before were like temperate area, climate, similar to Nigeria. I played in Singapore, I played in a few other Asian countries. When I arrived there, my first day on the pitch, I wanted to die. My legs were numb. And I was smart enough. It's a joke here. I always crack with my friends. I feigned injury. I was playing the trial match. They subbed me, and I was given another 5 days. You know what I did? I went to town. I was jogging, trying to acclimatize. So I spoke to a few people, and I'll mention him here. I spoke to Aisha Fallo, the fantastic woman. I said, the girls should not camp in Queensland. They should instead camp in Melbourne. They have to acclimatize a week before the tournament. But unfortunately, the girls arrived a day before the tournament in Melbourne. The camping in Queensland was uncalled for. To be sincere, I was at the stadium. Our girls were just not, they couldn't coordinate on the first day. You could see what happened.
You could have, let me just come in because we don't have too much time. These things we're talking about, are you in Melbourne, and you know the country. You should have talked to the NFF or reach out to Aisha Falode.
I did. I cannot tell you what somebody said. I will not mention anybody's name. I heard, people have to be scared of their jobs, and I spoke to Aisha. She attended to me sincerely. She said, "Tony, get this number. Reach out to." I don't want to mention anybody's name. I reached out to part of. I don't want to mention the name again, and I don't know what happened. So my fear was the girls would struggle. I did as a true Nigerian, but it's part of what we're talking about. It's part of preparation. They came over here to check the place they were going to camp, and all they could see was Queensland. There was no reason why they should go to Queensland. I'm so sorry. So, I mean, moving on, we should not put square pegs in round hole. Let's get people that are sports savvy, people that know sports. Let them be part of what is happening in all spheres of our life. That is how Nigeria will just, be what the Nigeria we're dreaming of. That is the way we're going to get the Nigeria of our dream. Unfortunately, I was watching the tournament in pains the first day. As the program progressed, another thing I would say here that is very, very important as an ex-soccer player, I've had this discussion with a lot of coaches. I don't think if you watch the England game, you could see the difference. That was the true Nigerian team. We're very, very offensive. We play anybody, we're going there to play. Why did we become a defensive team, a Mourinho's team? Nigerians don't play like that. We go and attack you. We want to beat you. Look at what happened to England. They were breathing with their nose, But that was the Nigerian team that I know we used to have. So these are things that I think the people that are coming behind us should emulate. You want to play, you want to attack your opponent. Whilst we're very, very conscious of the other opponent. But apart from that, I will say this, and I respect the coach. I didn't meet him officially, but I saw him while I was there. I think the mistakes that were made in that tournament, we should have avoided England. I was yelling on top of my voice while I was watching the game. I felt I could reach out to the coach. Australia was up, I think 5 goals or 4 goals against Canada. We had no business defending against Ireland. We needed to even go and attack with the coach. We needed a goal. We would avoid England, and I'm sure it could have been just, but it has happened. Lessons will be learned. Football is not about you having the coach. You have to strategize. You have to meet every team member. You have to reach out to people. Unfortunately, I will say this out. Sorry to make the coach was a little bit blunt. Was was full of himself. I will say that. And for what I'm hearing from group here, I don't want to mention names again. I think Nigeria should learn something, and I'm saying it out here. I'm very vocal about this. I'm saying this out openly. We don't need a foreign coach. You can get a technical assistant.
A good place to live. I must say thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, your alarm didn't do good to us because we were waiting for you to come. We'll find another time to bring you on the show. We are going to definitely keep the lessons, but we're still proud of what the Super Falcons did. We love them so much, and we hope that they will keep getting better. Thank you so much for your time, and do have a good day.
I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for joining us. Sure. So that's it. It's a former footballer right here in Melbourne, Australia, Tobi Abbas, joining us on the show. Bolu, it said one or two things, but I'm still proud. I'm happy that the Super Falcons made it out of a group that they were ranked the least. Nobody expected them to make it out of that group, but they did.
I told some guys after the England game that normally many didn't expect Nigeria to win. The few that I expected was, since the way this tournament is going the way it is, maybe Nigeria could win. The only pain was they went a man down or a woman down, and still we could not win. But taking England, the European champions, remember Nigeria could not even finish third at the AFCON or WAFCON. But took on the European champions, dragged them all the way to extra time and lost their penalties. The only time, I remember it was on this same show, that the only time I gave Falcons a chance was when we heard about the money. that, oh, money is coming. Okay, I felt, okay, this would be a good ginger for the ladies. Even at that, I wouldn't have put my money on them. So the fact that they went that far and they were ranked the 10th best team at the tournament, could it have been better? Yes. But believe me, many expected doom. So as crazy as it sounds, I think they made the country proud. They made themselves proud at the end.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? Can we go better? Maybe for the next World Cup. But for now, I think I don't think anyone will berate them for where they finished. The only thing would have been they improved. Yes, but for the outing, they did well to an extent. So congratulations to her. I'm a big Randy Wardrum critic. But at least, like they say, you're as good as your last job. And the last thing he did for the World Cup, you still have to give him credit. Could he have done maybe one or two things right? Yes. But again, like I said, we didn't expect them to go that far. And they did. So you have to give them credit for it.
I totally agree. Yemi, I think it's time we move on with the show.
Yeah, we have to. All right, let's talk about our teams on the continent. Let's quickly talk about Bernal Insurance and, of course, the farewell given to them by the governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki. He has told the team to go for all-out victory in the second leg of the CAF Confederation Cup tie against Asoslef of Algeria. Remember, they won the first leg 1-0. They will be facing Asoslef at the 12,000 capacity Salem Mabrouki Stadium. And, of course, they have a 1-0 advantage from the first leg. And, of course, the governor tried to instill confidence in them and motivated them, reminding them that they've not lost any game and they shouldn't start now. Let's listen to the words of the governor that he gave to the players before they departed for Algeria.
I know the boys are prepared. Are you in good spirits?
Yes, sir.
And you know what to do?
Yes, sir.
Don't worry, I'm sure you're going to play better there than in Benin because you were studying and you were very anxious because of the home crowd. Now you have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. So just go for it.
Thank you, sir.
They're not better than us now. They don't even have stamina. So, coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Just say I should come and see you. And wish you luck. And just tell you be in good spirits. Just follow the instructions of your coach. And you know you've not lost any match this season. So you're not going to lose this one, so don't worry. Okay? So good luck. And you know, there's something waiting for you when you come. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just do your best. Okay then. I came to say hello.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All right, that's the minimum requirement. Do your best, and hopefully the Benin Arsenal will get the job done. All right, so let's talk about another team in the Premier League, Enugu Rangers. Let me allow Austin. Well, maybe I should just allow Bolu say a thing or two about Bernal Insurance quickly, even though we don't have much time. It was a good way that they left. I like the fact that the governor said, there's something for you when you come back.
Why did you say your last line? That's where I was going. When you come back, you know there's something waiting for you. No bigger motivation than that. It means do your best, do well, win or at least draw, don't lose. And you get, like we say in Nigeria especially, there's no better motivation than that. Do they have what it takes? Like the Governor Riley said, they were shaky a bit at home. Now the confidence should be higher. Yes, they are going to definitely a hostile territory, but just avoid a defeat and you're in the next round. So I think they have what it takes. I'm not scared for all our teams in this round. My fear is for the next round, so I think Bernal Insurance should do enough to get the job done.
All right. Okay. So a good one there. I wanted us to talk about Enugu Rangers, but we'll leave that for later, probably tomorrow. Let's talk about something that's become an hot potato somewhat. The issue with the Spain FA president. There's been a lot of talk. I'm very sure Austin is right on it. I mean, I thought it was going to die off, but I mean, FIFA is wading into it. You're hearing the Spanish Prime Minister saying, look, apart from an apology, something else has to be done. FIFPro is also looking into it. And it looks like, and we're hearing reports that a resignation might be in the works. I mean, how did he get to all this, Austin?
That's what it is, you know. That's what it is when you can't control your emotions, you know. I feel for him, it was a roller coaster ride of emotions because of what the Spanish women's team did by winning the FIFA Women's World Cup. But you're dealing with women, and this is the public space, you know, particularly because she complained about what he did. That's what it is. So it's a very sensitive issue. I thought after his apology, everybody will get into, a private meeting and say, look, he didn't mean anything bad. This is what it is. But I'm sure you know that this is even beyond FIFA now. It's beyond FIFA Pro. Different women groups worldwide have come out to condemn what the Spanish FA boss has done. And look, that's why I said that whenever we're happy, we shouldn't lose our brain. We shouldn't stop thinking, particularly when you are in a public space. He wasn't drunk. Maybe he was. Maybe he was drinking, for the final, or took a shot or two to just celebrate before he got on the podium. But truly, Yemi, I've been following this story all day, and I feel for him. I feel for him because probably he had genuine, feelings. But we must stay guarded, all the time. This is a good lesson to everyone out there. You must be when you're in public, you must behave properly. Wow. You must be professional.
That's true.
If it's a hug, give him a hug. If he's a peck by the cheek, do that. But with the keys that he gave and Jennifer coming out to say she was uncomfortable with it, she felt harassed and everything. Yes, it's going to start with a resignation. I say it coming soon, maybe tomorrow or maybe Monday latest, and then more will happen.
All right, let me go to Bolu. I mean, conspiracy theory here. Did this man have it coming? Luis Rubiales, there were issues with the coach, something about the girls working in a toxic environment. Some of the girls who should have been in this tournament didn't come. They want the manager sacked. They didn't get their wish. Now this happened and everything just burst into flames. So was it just this or the man had it coming?
Well, there's all the stories we saw growing up is kiss of life. He's only his kiss of trouble. And like Ossie said, kissing on the cheek. He actually kissed all the players on the cheek, including Hermoso. He kissed her on the cheek. I don't know what happened the split second that you pull the head together again and kiss her on the lips. The truth is, it was coming. 15 players said they were never going to play for the team again except the coach resigned. 3 of them joined the team. They won the World Cup. People were like, oh, finally, this is a backlash on the players, blah, blah, blah. Then split second, Rubiales decided to pick up the headline. Like Costa said, I think it's about when he will resign. People are coming up with maybe there's an affair, even if there is. Sometimes you need to use your head. Control is one of the most important things, no matter how excited you are. For example, when Spain won the World Cup in 2010, the men's national team, why then the president decided to start kissing all the men? So there's no way he can escape this. If it was a thing that everyone kept quiet, it would have been a different ballgame. Like Austin said, women's groups are talking. FIFA now has said they've opened disciplinary proceedings. The Spanish Prime Minister, everyone is talking. So he needs to go. I feel for him. I like him as a person. I like what he's done, what the team has achieved. He's been into administration for a while and we've seen progress. But the truth is, it takes 1,000,000 years to build a house and it takes a second to bring it down. Fortunately for him, so that action at the World Cup is going to bring his career down, because I don't think he's getting into any administrative position again in Spanish football. So it's about when he will resign. Like Austin said, maybe by Monday latest, I think he'll put in the paper.
All right. So unfortunate. And even those of us discussing it have to be very, very careful. It's a hot potato, very, very sensitive, especially if you're a man. You have to be very, very careful what you say. Some men have tried to explain it away, but I won't do that. I'm not going that route. I will leave what happened. But Austin, before we go, Aymeric Laporte was kept secret. We knew it was always going to go, but I didn't expect it was going to go to Saudi Arabia. But now he's done. I like the way City have done their business this season. Bring a player in before allowing a player go.
That's right, and it's all Saudi money that is exchanging hands right there, with the business. That's what football is all about. Look, I told you on this show when Ronaldo went to Saudi Arabia that's the new Europe. More players. Now, nobody is laughing at you if you go to Saudi Arabia. It is what it is. They go there now, they're saying the competition is, the league is competitive. Laporte has gone to join the array of stars that have done there. Football is business, and it's all about the money, money, money. So that's it, Siemi. Do we have any more time on the show? In London, I'm Austin Wokonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, that's the show today. I want to thank Bolo Moni for his time on the show today. Hopefully next week we'll be doing this sitting right next to each other. Bolo, thank you for your time on the show.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. See you very soon.
All right. As we go, I want to leave you with pictures from the World Athletics Championships in Budapest. Enjoy the highlights. I'm Yemi Adebayo. We'll see you tomorrow.